Hey guys, we are here at CEDIA 2023 in the Martin Logan booth. Guys, when I walked into this demo room, I immediately got a big grin on my face because the first thing I saw were the F200s. This is a new series for Martin Logan. You know, I've got a whole system in for review. Sadly, Andrew, I've only had a chance to listen to 2 of them in my setup because I've been doing things like trade shows, M-Wave, a bunch of other events, but I can't wait to get this entire system set up. So I was super pumped to be able to hear a full Dolby Atmos system with this new series. Andrew, thanks so much for taking your time to share with the folks watching what you brought to CEDIA. So let's talk about what you've got in this room.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us. So we actually brought a 7.4.4 Dolby Atmos system in this room based off of our all-new Motion XT and Motion products that launched earlier this year. So as you said, the star of the show up front is the F200, our largest tower in that series that has the all-new Gen 2 folded Motion XT tweeter. We've got the new waveguide, the woven Kevlar with Nomex mid, aluminum bass drivers. These things are awesome. For surrounds, we thought it would be cool to do towers for the bed layer.
And I love that.
Oh, it's awesome. It's super immersive because, you know, a lot of people actually will skimp on the surround channels, but the only reason it's surround sound is because of those. So if you can swing it, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, if you've got the room, you've got the space, which we do in this room. Some people, if you got a living room, might not work. If you got a dedicated theater room, if you can go with it, dude, it's amazing.
It's not always practical, but if you can do it, well worth it, absolutely. So we've got F100s as the side surrounds and, and the surround backs. And then for the Atmos height effects, we actually did something a little different. So this room is actually set up for end ceilings, but we chose not to do that because a lot of times at people's houses, that's just not a practical option for a variety of reasons.
Sure.
So these speakers are actually multi-purpose in nature. For one, they're a very thin bookshelf, so if you need to save some space, they can do that.
Right.
But they're also wall mountable, and they can mount parallel to the wall, or as you see in our room here, they're actually angled down into the room. So it's a great way to get height effect if you can't do an end ceiling.
Yeah.
And of course, it wouldn't be a home theater without great bass.
100%.
So we brought 4 of our 15-inch Dynamo 1600 subs, and it rocks.
Well, Andrew, one thing I love is we came in, just Joe and I, and you're like, guys, we're going to give you the VIP treatment. You got time? We're like, yeah, we got time. We're running on the last day of CEDIA, and we've got some extra time. So we're like, let's do it. He's like, we're going to run you through kind of more demos than most of our guests will get. So we went through track after track after track, and my audience knows you can tell if I like something by this right here.
Yeah.
The bigger this thing gets, the more I enjoy it. And I just found myself, whether we were watching Top Gun, whether we were listening to a music concert with Lady Gaga, and listening to Shallow, man, I just was grinning ear to ear, enjoying the system, hearing the dynamics of this room, powerful bass. Whether it was an explosion, we watched Batman.
Yeah.
So lots of LFE there. Top Gun, like I said, and Oblivion.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. I've got that movie at home, and I've used it in my own demos. There's a scene there that we watched, so it was absolutely incredible. We've got a really low bass note, and these were just clean all the way to the bottom. Really, really impressive system you put together here.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're really happy with the way it came together. We built this room to showcase this stuff because, in our opinion, if you're going to come to CEDIA as a speaker manufacturer, you got to give a great demo.
Yeah,
right? Something that you may not always hear. And I think a seven-layer bed layer of towers, that's not something you encounter all the time.
No.
So we wanted to have some fun. We actually used a full stack of Anthem, which I'm pretty sure you're familiar with.
Oh, absolutely.
And that automatic phase alignment, the bass that we heard in that demo, you don't always hear bass that's that well controlled and defined out of a system like this. So it was just awesome. We really enjoyed putting this together and showing it off to everybody.
Andrew, I'm really glad you mentioned that. So that's something that's kind of new to me. I've got the Avium 70.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I have not had a chance to hook that up, replace my system, and hear it in my own room. But I'm really excited about that. We've got the Avium 90 here, the big brother to that.
Yep.
Phenomenal channel. I mean, just hearing all the intricacies, all the detail. Of course, that's partnered with not only the processing, but you also got great speakers that you powered or that you're connecting that with. But one thing I intentionally did, and sometimes we don't get a chance to do, when there's a large group in here and we're kind of locked into one seat.
Right.
But I intentionally, throughout the demo, you may have seen me, I popped to the back left, and then I went over and I went over and I went over. I think I had about 5 or 6 different seats here, and I still got really consistent bass throughout the room. So that's really good, because if we only had one subwoofer in here, you're going to move and you're going to miss the bass.
Oh, yeah.
Then you go over here and it might be boomy bass. The Anthem did a really, really great job of keeping that smooth, regardless of the seats that I chose.
Right, exactly. And, I think of it like cooking, right? So the speakers and all that, that's your great ingredients.
Sure.
The processor, that's the chef that brings it all together, right? And as good as the parts are, that system really allows us to tune it and get a cohesive sound, and it couldn't be happier. It sounded awesome.
Yeah. So you've got other products here at the show for Martin Logan as well, right?
Tons, yep. So we actually, in addition to the XT series and its sibling, the Motion, we brought our all-new Motion Foundation products.
And are those outside?
They are.
Can we take a look out there?
Oh, yeah. And as a special treat, we brought a whole bunch of our electrostatic speakers and our in-wall and in-ceiling speakers. We brought a lot.
Nice. Well, let's go check it all out.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, we just came out of that incredible experience room, but you've got a plethora of products here, so let's walk through these.
We definitely are making a commotion about Motion this year, that's for sure.
I love it.
So we have obviously the XT series that you just heard that demo of with its sibling, the Motion series.
Yep.
But we have an all-new, more entry-level product, the Motion Foundation series, which, pun totally intended, it's a foundation of any fine music or home theater system. So behind me are the 3 center channels. So we've got the C100, which is the XT version.
Right.
And then we have the C10, which is the smaller Motion version. And then now we have the C1, which is for part of the Foundation series.
Okay.
A little bit different aesthetics, but we've still got amazing thin film performance. You may notice the tweeter on these is a little bit smaller than on the other ones.
Right.
And then the mid-range and the bass drivers are all aluminum. So as you transition up into the series from Foundation to Motion to XT, there's a few things that change.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is the tweeter. So we go from our folded Motion Gen 2 tweeter, the S, the small one.
Right.
Then we go to the mid-size on the Motion and the top of the line XT on the Motion XT series. Your mid-range material changes. So you have aluminum, then you have fiberglass, and then you have woven Kevlar with Nomex. Okay. And then you go into bass drivers. Yeah. So as you go up, they get meatier and meatier, bigger and bigger. And we also change the porting. So while Foundation is rear ported like most speakers you'll find, the Motion and the Motion XT are all downward firing, which makes them a little easier to position, gives you a nice concussive feel, that tactile feel.
Sure.
And then they also have those luxurious finishes. So I
love the fact that you've got 3 finishes.
Black is obviously one of the most common you'll find. But we're finding that more and more customers are gravitating towards the white or the walnut just because it fits better in their decor.
Sure.
So we wanted to bring that down into the entry-level product on the Motion Foundation while also maintaining that ultra premium look on the Motion and the Motion XT series.
Sure.
And honestly, one of my favorite features are the feet.
Yeah.
So on Foundation, you've got adjustable feet.
Right.
But on the Motion and Motion XT, we step that up.
These are fancy, bro.
Oh man, they are cool. They are super cool. So these, we call them their fast feet, fully adjustable. They're spiked, toolless.
Yeah.
And you can actually adjust the height of these without any tools right from the top. So you can level your speaker, you could dial in the rake, but there's a couple cool things this is doing as well. As you can see here, since we're on a hard surface, we have the rubber spike to protect the flooring, but it also ships with a carpet spike to really dial it in and get it solid on your floor.
Sure.
The other thing these do is they have anti-vibration and isolation properties as well. Yeah. Not quite an ISO acoustics level kind of thing, but we wanted to make sure that we're giving all the performance that we can right out of the box. Right. So yeah, they're awesome. So as silly as that sounds,
great too.
I just love these things.
Yeah. Well, I know when I let's see. So these are the ones that I've got at the house, right?
You got the big ones.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see those.
Yeah.
So I've got these, and that was one of the things that impressed me because you're putting really high-end, gorgeous-looking, and very functional, with a gorgeous speaker. And I'm telling you, man, I keep going back to this white. There's something about that.
That satin white's smooth.
And
it's
Jessica,
smooth.
she's decorating our home a little different. There's a little splash of white here, a little splash of white there. Okay. And we don't have a modern home, and that's what's interesting. And even in my video, I said, I had an idea. I'm like, Jessica, I just unboxed these. Can you just come out here? I'm going to mic you. I just want to get your impression because normally here's what my wife says. Nope. Nope. No.
Yeah.
every speaker I've ever shown her, even ones that are $12,000, I'm like,
Yeah.
baby, these are gorgeous. What do you think? Those are ugly. I'm like, oh my gosh. So everything gets a 0 wife acceptance
Right.
factor from Jessica. But in the video, she was looking at them. She goes, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of like these. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? That's the first time my wife has ever said she actually liked the appearance of the speaker. So you're doing something well.
We're happy to hear that. We're like, oh, well, we didn't get a 0. That means
Yes.
we won. That's
Yeah,
good.
That,
That's good
that was a
stuff.
massive score in the Stevens household, for sure. But these look gorgeous. We got 888s. No.
These are the 888s here, yeah.
Keep looking at that one, thinking, oh.
Yep.
So we got 888s, big, beefy, but maybe you don't have that big of a room, or maybe don't have the space. So you've got several sizes.
Yeah.
And you got several price points as well.
Oh yeah, we've got everything from $5,500 a pair, $4,500 a pair. Then the next series down in the towers, $3,500 and $2,500, and then the Motion Foundation at $2,000 and $1,500.
Yeah.
And the bookshelves and centers are all priced to match. And yeah, I think there's something for everybody in that Motion line. But we're most well known for our electrostatic speakers.
Absolutely.
And we've heard, oh, are you getting out of electrostat? Absolutely not. We make more electrostatic speakers now than we ever have. So we actually brought some pretty cool things to look at. So maybe you want to check those out.
100%. Let's go.
All right, cool.
All right, Andrew, I'm somewhat familiar with these because
Yeah.
my business partner, Ryan Charpentier with M-Wave, he's got a pair of these. They're a little bit older, but
Yeah.
dude, I'm seeing some really cool stuff. I would love to hear what's going on here.
These are certainly eye-catching, but this is actually our bread and butter. This is what we were founded on 40 years ago. That kind of hurts to say because I'm turning 40 soon. But yeah, this is our bread and butter electrostatic speakers. This is what our company was founded on. So the way this works is we've actually got a thin film panel on the top which handles the vast majority of what you hear.
Sure.
There's no crossover points, there's no multiple driver integration. It's just a smooth, just perfectly clean, just glorious output. This is truly one of those speakers that you can see a picture of it and you can see it, but until you hear it, it's just really just an experience.
Sure.
But what you have behind us, this is our Masterpiece ESL series. This is our flagship product.
Okay.
But we've also got some that are a little more affordable. So these here, this is our Electromotion ESL and our Electromotion ESLX. These are kind of the starting point into the world of electrostatic speakers.
Yeah.
They're a little smaller. We've got an 8-inch on the bottom to handle the bass.
Right.
That's the one thing electrostatic doesn't handle very well is bass,
Yeah.
because they have to become very big.
Sure.
So single 8 and dual 8 here, and then when you transition into the Masterpiece series, we're doing some really, really cool stuff with DSP on the higher end models. So
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick walkthrough
Yeah,
here.
let's look at this.
So the start of the series, this one is our classic ESL9. It's completely passive. We've got dual 8s in the bottom. We've got a generously sized panel up top. This is kind of the start of our ultra high-end series,
Yeah.
about $7,500.
Okay.
Now these crazy colors that you see behind us,
This is exciting.
oh yeah, this is neat, man. So this is part of the supercar collection that we just launched at CEDIA. So
Nice.
to us, the motorsports industry and home audio, they have a lot of parallels.
100%.
You see that Ferrari on the street or something, it's loud, it's fast, it's bold looking.
Right.
Well, a high-end speaker should do the same thing. It should sound good, it should look good, it should be eye-catching. So we thought it'd be fun to do this. And we've got our new green, we've got the blue, we've got the fuchsia, but the speakers themselves have a lot of cool stuff going on. So besides having a giant thin film panel, on the bottom, these are actually active woofers.
Okay.
So this is dual 10s that we've got amplified. They have room correction, they have phase shifting. We're really trying to control that bass into the room like a high-end home theater processor would. So really, really cool stuff going on that. So I've got this, which is the 11-inch panel.
Okay.
I've got the 13-inch panel.
Okay.
And this massive fuchsia one
man,
behind
good
us,
golly.
this is our 15-inch panel that has dual giant woofers in the bottom. So this thing is perfectly at home in a high-end 2-channel system or a really killer home theater system.
Can we look at the back of it too?
Oh yeah, let me show you.
I'd love to see that and show you guys at home.
Yeah. So you'll see a couple things that may stand out at first. So there's one set of binding posts because all your amplifier has to drive is the top section.
Sure.
We've got internal amplification for the two dual woofers.
Yep.
The other thing that's kind of strange to see on a speaker is an Ethernet port.
Yeah, yeah. what's
Why
that
in the
for?
world is that there? So these having anthem room correction built into the woofers, when you set these up in a 2-channel or home theater environment, you can tether the two with a Cat5 cable.
Okay.
So when you do your measurements, it sweeps the left one and then the right one.
Nice.
And then we move our mic and do it again. And that removes any kind of inconsistencies of where your mic is maybe a little different between measurements,
Sure.
because then you're going to throw the whole thing off.
Yeah.
So yeah, this thing is super high tech. It's old world craftsmanship because all these panels and everything are made by hand,
Right.
but then we've got that cutting edge DSP technology inside as well.
Sure. So Andrew, like a traditional speaker, we've got, a tweeter, we got
Yep.
a mid-range, and then we may have some a little bit lower woofers. How does that work with an electrostat?
Yeah.
Do we have high frequencies up here and mid frequencies here, or we get just a solid response from this hertz to this hertz?
Yeah, that's a great question. We get that a lot actually. Because if you look at the panel, you see these lines here,
Yeah.
and a lot of people think that certain frequencies come out of different cells.
Sure.
That's not actually the truth. So what actually happens is the entire panel it reproduces everything from, on this particular model, around 300, 400 hertz, all the way up to over 20K. It comes out of the entire panel. So it's a true line source output. And being a dipole speaker, I'm controlling that wave launch at a 30-degree angle out front, and I'm doing the same thing out back. So I'm reducing interactions with my wall or my floor or my ceiling. So it makes the room treatment or the acoustic correction process a lot easier because I'm using this as a tool to control the sound into the room where I want it. And so it's controlled directivity to the extreme.
I love it. So we're seeing a lot of tech, like you said.
Oh, yeah.
This is fascinating. Very unique style
Yep.
and design and just the properties that it presents.
Yeah, it's a super cool speaker. Obviously, these colors are not going to be for everybody,
Yeah.
but we also want to remind everyone that we can do them in black, we
Sure.
can do them in white, veneer, but we also have a custom shop.
Okay,
So
cool.
Yeah, so if you've got something you want to color match, like
Right.
maybe a certain car, your favorite sports team, or just a color that you love,
Yeah.
we can actually custom paint match anything you want. So you get the performance, and then you get the look that's just unlike anything else. These are truly a super unique. You don't see these everywhere.
No, you definitely don't. And I've never seen somebody do, and this is another interesting thing. Some people think, well, these are 2-channel speakers.
Right.
I've heard this in a full Dolby Atmos.
That's a cool
surround
system.
sound, dude. And Ryan's got a killer setup.
Oh,
And
it's
so his
nuts,
whole
yeah.
bed layer are electrostats, and then
Yep.
he's got some of the. I think he's got the Motion XTs up top.
Right.
So truly phenomenal, definitely versatile, super cool.
Oh, yeah.
I love this.
Yeah, these are super cool. Did you see anything out of the corner of your eye that looked interesting?
I actually did, and I'm like, it kind of looks different because it's not an electrostat. So what are we
Yeah.
talking about here?
So this is actually our flagship in-ceiling speaker as part of our Masterpiece Custom Install collection. This is the aptly named Sistine,
Yeah.
the work of art that goes in your ceiling.
I love it.
So you've got our wonderful tweeter, just like on the Motion XT floor standers. We've got one in here, we've got the dual mids, and we've got a bass driver here. But this is just the tip of the iceberg for custom installation for us.
And that is, I mean, like this is I don't think I've ever seen a in-ceiling speaker like that. That is absolutely crazy. So we've got maybe a whole series that kind of works with this.
We've got several whole series.
All
so-
right, well, let's go take a look at those.
Cool, sounds great. So this wall is all of our custom installation products. And we had to make a statement, pun intended, with our Statement 40XW. And we've actually brought these to a few places on active demonstration, but we couldn't have come all this way without showing it off. So this is named the Statement 40XW to pay tribute to our flagship products in the past called Statement E2. This has 40 drivers in it.
Wow.
16 tweeters, 16 mid-range drivers, and 8 bass drivers, all in a giant in-wall. This is meant for ultra high-end home theater or 2-channel music where you just don't want a floor stander or can't accommodate a floor stander.
Sure.
These things are really, really cool. Now, what makes it special is you actually see we're not going in the wall here.
Right.
This is an on-wall enclosure so that you could hang it on the wall or any kind of surface like that where you couldn't have actually put it into the wall itself.
Easier to install.
Makes it easier to install, so we do have both options, both in-wall and on-wall, which translates to their smaller brothers here. So we have our 7 driver.
Wait a minute. He said they're smaller. There's nothing small about these. They're always tall as I am.
Oh, this is bigger than a 75-inch TV, so yeah, they're not exactly small.
Sure.
But compared to this,
Right.
it absolutely is.
Yeah, I love it.
So we take all of the technology that's in here and scale it down into 7 driver, 5 driver, or 3-driver here.
Okay.
And of course, the in-ceiling that we just saw is the in-ceiling mate to all of these that we just saw.
Nice.
These are all fully boxed, so they're very consistent when they're placed in the wall. They don't leak sound through the other side. So just incredible performers and 0 footprint. These things are super cool.
Nice. So you do that LCR, you do a 2-channel setup,
Yep.
a lot of flexibility there.
Yep, because these tweeters will actually rotate. So if you do install them in a horizontal position, you can adjust the tweeter dispersion accordingly.
Perfect.
So then next to it, these are actually the companions to the Motion XT series that we actually demonstrated earlier.
Right.
So we have lots of different LCR, in-wall, in-ceiling. You can see the small 4-inch is fully boxed in much of the same way as the larger brother.
Sure.
So these use the same mid-range material and the same tweeter material. So these are going to voice match that Motion and Motion XT product extremely well.
Right.
And then, even farther down, we have our installer series. This is our most affordable line of custom install products. These use traditional dome tweeters, and we have a ton of different solutions. You've got small in-ceilings here. We've got an all-weather in-ceiling.
Okay.
So these are actually IP rated to survive outdoors if you wanted.
Under an eye maybe or something like that?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And, you know, being in Florida, you got to spend time outside, right?
Absolutely.
In Georgia, same way. Maybe a little less humidity,
Yeah.
but still, we enjoy our outdoor time.
Sure.
But these are in-ceiling all-weather, and then the indoor versions.
Okay.
They look quite the same, but you can see the extra seal on that one to prevent the water from coming in.
Sure. One thing I'm noticing, and you may even talk about this, some of these are angled as well, right?
Yeah. So there's been a trend in the industry to have in-ceiling speakers that have pivoting woofers, pivoting tweeters.
Sure.
The only problem with that is that when you start moving the drivers and the chassis, you now have to adjust the crossover accordingly. And since there's almost an infinite variation of that, it's not always perfect.
Sure.
So we designed these in a fixed angle so that we know that parameter.
Makes sense.
And these are actually angled in the room. So this is my choice for a front stage that's in the ceiling.
Okay.
Because it projects the sound out into the room rather than straight down.
Right.
So this works much better for that situation.
Very cool.
And then last but not least, we have our custom install subwoofers.
Sure.
So we have 2 different models on display here. We have the Dynamo IWO for open back, and we have the Dynamo IWS for sealed.
Right.
Now the sealed one is quite clever. It's got a fire-rated back box for installations that may require that. There are certain jurisdictions in the U.S. that do require it, so this conforms to that standard. So you have a choice of open or sealed.
Sure.
The open one is actually really cool too, and I don't have it here to show you, but there's a high output back box that we call the hob that can go sealed into your wall. Then once you finish all your drywall, you can pop this in there for even extra output compared to this one.
Okay. So definitely some flexibility depending on what your theater room looks like, what you have to work with.
Yep, because bass is super important.
Yeah.
But you don't always have the floor space or maybe the permission to put subs everywhere, right? So this is a way to provide that without taking up any floor space.
Certainly.
And then we have our amplification options here, or some of them at least.
Yeah.
So this is our multi-purpose amplifier, which is designed not only to run our outdoor products, because this can run 2 of our 8.1 outdoor systems, but this will actually run our in-wall subs, and we've programmed the DSP to give you dual sub options. So one of these amps will actually run dual subs, no problem at all.
Nice. Class D amplification?
Class D, yep, 500 watts by 1, bridge to mono. And we also have a rack mount kit where you can put 2 of these side by side, so you're only taking up 1
Save
U.
space, yeah.
Tons of power.
Love it, love it.
Now these things are super cool. These are our MDA 16 and MDA 8 matrix distribution amps. So these have anthem room correction for every zone. They have 16 channels or 8 channels of power respectively, and this is fully matrix. So it's got analog inputs and digital inputs, and on the fly it can switch any source in to any zone out. These things are super cool, compatible with every control system, and they just sound absolutely incredible. So
let me get it straight. So we hook this up. I've got patio speakers. I've got bedroom speakers. I've got, I don't know, maybe you've got a sitting room. I can run anthem room correction on one.
On every single one.
That is cool technology. I love it.
And since we're big into bass integration, every single zone has the ability to run a subwoofer with it.
Okay.
And the
like
subs.
its own independent sub?
Oh yeah, it's got sub out for every zone. But the other trick feature here is, let's say you've got one of these that needs to go with some speakers, like you said, in your kitchen.
Sure.
There's an option in the web UI to power the sub with the second zone. So all you do is you wire up zone 1 for your speakers, zone 2 gets bridged to drive your amp. Now you don't even have to add separate sub amplification. But if you do, this is the companion amp if you really want to ramp up that power. So lots of cool flexibility here. So here we have what I would call our unique solutions, because reality often interferes with where we want to put speakers.
Sure.
So we have a lot of options to get you that incredible world-class sound, but in what I would call challenge installations or a more lifestyle-oriented install.
Right.
So this is actually a rare speaker that you don't see that often. This is our on-wall electrostatic speaker, so a companion to the big floor standers we saw a minute ago.
Yeah.
So this actually comes with a pivoting bracket,
Okay.
so I can dial in the toe.
Oh, nice.
These things make a killer front stage or just an insane surround channel.
Sure.
These things are super cool.
I can see these as front wides because they don't take up much space.
They don't
They're
take
not
up
gonna
much
get in the way.
space. If you need to mount them up high, you can flip them upside down so the panel's ear level. These things are super cool. And then this is actually one of our most popular products, actually, believe it or not, is the Motion SLMs. So you can see we've got the same thin film tweeter as the big ones,
Right.
but it's in a package that's less than 2 inches deep. So wall-mounted TV, put these up there, you've got, really no space taken up without the commitment of going in the wall. So really, really cool products that you can use as an LCR around a TV or wherever you may need sound. We've also got our FX2 surround channel for that dedicated surround. And then this is the MP10 in white, which is the height effect channel you heard earlier. This is just mounted in the,
Yeah, so you can do like a bookshelf speaker, mount it on the wall. If you want to flip it upside down, angle it.
Exactly. The
lot
Swiss
of
Army
versatility.
knife of the Motion series, for sure.
I love it.
And then our most compact speakers, we have the Motion 2i, 4i, 6i, and 8i. These also have the folded motion tweeter, just in a much, much smaller form factor. So I actually use a pair of the 2i's on my desk for my computer because they take up no room and they sound awesome. But these are great as LCRs, the little small center channel, a surround channel, because when you mount these on the wall, you can put them upside down.
Check that out.
And it angles down into the room, kind of like this guy.
Nice.
So we have a ton of options here.
And that's just your own custom bracket back
That's
there.
the brackets they come with.
I love it.
So lots of really cool solutions, because we're known for electrostat, but hey, we also have stuff that's 2 inches thick. So
Nice.
we just make a lot of really cool stuff. So that's part of what we're highlighting here at CEDIA is you may know us for this, but
Correct.
we also have a lot of cool solutions.
Yeah, well, I love it. We got some more stuff right back here, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, we thought, why not bring Martin Logan Sound outside?
I love it.
Yeah, so we brought a lot of our outdoor product. We actually have even more than this, so you can check that out on our website.
Okay.
But we have 4 different sizes of traditional outdoor speakers, all of which are available in black or white, traditional 8-ohm surface mount product. But we also have what we call our landscape systems.
Yeah.
So we actually have an 8-inch, which is what you see here. We have a 10-inch and a 12-inch in-ground dynamo subwoofer. And then we have 6 and 4 satellites.
Yeah.
So these are designed to mingle in your shrubbery and landscaping, and really designed to blanket your yard with sound without really drawing attention to itself.
Yeah.
So these are excellent sounding speakers. We also have the rocks if you want them to blend in that way. So yeah, we just have a ton of different options on display here to kind of showcase that Martin Logan Sound isn't just restricted to one room. You can take it anywhere.
Yeah, and one thing I encourage you guys, if you're considering an outdoor system, is use multiple ones of these. Because if you only have like 2, you're trying to crank it up to fill maybe a large area,
Yeah.
a pool, a sitting area, maybe a fire pit over here. But the more of these you have, the lower you can turn that volume. Everybody gets good coverage.
Yep.
And then definitely 100% get you some subwoofers out there. I know you think, Michael, why would I want to bother my neighbors? Again, kind of same principle. If I have a subwoofer here and a subwoofer here and a subwoofer there and one more over here, we don't have to crank it up for
Yep.
the neighbors, but everybody's feeling that. I mean, not like feeling it, but we're hearing it.
Right.
It's filling in these lower octaves, especially for the smaller speakers that really don't dig very deep. And even some of the big ones, they don't you're not going to be able to like really feel that. So highly encourage you pick up 1, 2, 3 hour mini subwoofer.
That's an excellent point, because it kind of sounds like a sales pitch when we're saying
this is personal experience.
Yeah,
I'm not selling nothing.
No, it's the more you have, like you said, you can keep the volume lower, but everywhere in the yard is fully covered. You can hear everything, and it reduces complaints. So it's kind of counterintuitive. More speakers equals less complaints, but it's true. It's true for sure. So one more thing to show you. This is actually a companion to those Slim speakers I showed you a little bit ago. This is our Slim X3 3-channel passive soundbar. So behind the grill here, you actually have 3 channels of speakers. You have your center, your left, and your right all in one bar.
Right.
And this wires up to any AV receiver, so that way you can take advantage of all the advanced processing and input selection, but your speaker is this super thin, just stealth look. And this is perfect for 55, 65 plus TVs where you want that great sound, but you can't commit to anything larger. So it gives you the look of a traditional soundbar, but it's really got the heart of a lion powering it.
Yeah, I mean, this is very similar, like you said, what you've got over there. I mean, these are robust speakers, beautiful finishes as well.
Thank you.
But, again, soundbars, they have their time and place. I realize that.
Absolutely.
But if you're wanting to go a little step further, I love just being able to provide you guys with different options, because what works in my theater room or my living room might not work for yours. What I have budgeted for that may be different for you. And so I'll have links to all this down in the description. And we're also got some cool, fun videos that we're going to be doing with that Motion XT series. So make sure you hang out for those. We've had a blast here at CEDIA 2023, but we're not done yet. So we got plenty of videos coming. We've also got a playlist over here, so you can watch all the content that I've recorded from CEDIA 2023. Guys, hope you have an incredible week. God bless. We will catch you in the next video.